Welcome to the Rap Soul Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of music that moves our hearts and gets our feet tapping. This is the intersection of rap and soul music from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We appreciate you for listening. Share this podcast with a friend or family member who loves music as much as you do. The podcast is hosted by 12 Kyle. Next up, the Rap Soul Podcast.
You can love someone. You can be infatuated by someone. You can lust for someone. But to adore someone, that's a different level. Not a lot of people get to be adored. I mean, think about it like this. In your lifetime, how many people outside of your family can you honestly say that you adore? You maybe would count them on one hand in your lifetime. And you've lived, most of you, quite a few years. But yeah, adore. And so really to be singing about having this type of emotion for someone says a lot. Welcome to another edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Again, this is the Rap Soul Podcast. This is the intersection where we have discussions about music and artists from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s when it comes to rap, hip hop, soul, and R&B. Simply put, folks, this is the best music podcast that you've never heard until right now. Again, shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube. All right, check this out. So we're back again for another verse of the week. And this week, I had to pull out one of the favorites. It is a song from my favorite artist in any genre. That is none other than Prince Rogers Nelson. The song from 1987, the Sign O' the Times album, the last song on the album, Adore. I love this song. I love the album, but I love this song, and I'm a huge Prince fan. And they really saved the best for last when it comes to this album. Sign of the Times is an incredibly dope album, and Prince did his thing on this particular song. This song features Prince in belting, and he belts out one of the premier love songs, in my opinion. And he goes into his falsetto like he did on Do Me Baby, International Lover, and Let's Pretend We're Married, just to name a few. And Prince crushes it. And I adore this song. I've said it before. It's one of the greatest love songs I've ever heard. Totally relatable. It was part of the Girl 6 movie soundtrack. There's a live version of it. And what's interesting about this particular song was it was never released as an official single from the Sign O' the Times album. But it was all over radio. And funny how that happens, but I think what happened, the streets probably were calling for it. I know a young 12 Kyle back in 1987 was calling for it. And I was calling the radio station, hey, can you play Adore by Prince? But I love this song. It is a beautiful song. Again, it was all over the airwaves. I think Prince, this was one of his last like smashes. I mean, he had great music beyond this, but I think this was like one of his last smashes. And Prince, low key, ruled the 80s. But you don't need me to tell you that. Again, it's one of my favorite songs. It is a song that has managed to land on every Slow Jams Get the Draws tape I ever made. It is a Slow Jams Get the Draws tape staple, if you will. And other than the fact that I love this song and I love Prince, I had to do a verse of the week. So let's break it down. The chorus goes, until the end of time, I'll be there for you. You own my heart and mind. I truly adore you. If God one day struck me blind, your beauty I'd still see. Love is too weak to define just what you mean to me. Okay, so before we get into the verse, that's the chorus. To tell someone that you adore them, that is a deeper emotion because you can like someone, you can love someone, you can be infatuated by someone, you can lust for someone. But to adore someone, that's a different level. Not a lot of people get to be adored. I mean, think about it like this. In your lifetime, how many people outside of your family can you honestly say that you adore? You may be able to count them on one hand in your lifetime, and you've lived, most of you, quite a few years. um, but yeah, adore. And so really to be singing about having this type of emotion for someone says a lot. And again, he said, I truly adore you. If God one day struck me blind, your beauty I'd still see. Let me stop there. If he took away my eyesight, I could still see how beautiful you are. That's a bar. And that says a lot about how he is describing his love for this particular person. Your beauty I'd still see. Love is too weak to define just what you mean to me. So that goes back to what I just said. I ain't even talking about love. This is something even more powerful than love. Love is too weak to define just what you mean to me. And again, that's the chorus, folks. We haven't even got into the verse. So let's get into the verse. From the first moment I saw you, ooh, I knew you were the one. That night I had to call you. I was rapping till the sun came up, telling you just how fine you look. In a word, you were sex. All of my cool attitude you took. My body was next. You made love to me like you were afraid. Was you afraid of me? Was I the first? Was I your every fantasy? Man, there's a lot going on here. First of all, he said that night I had to call you. I was rapping till the sun came up. Let's stop here. If you're of a certain generation, you remember rapping, being on the phone until the sun came up. Now, there's a generation of kids who don't or have not or will not experience that because, you got FaceTime, you talking, maybe you fall asleep. I don't know. But back in the day, and I'm speaking from experience, when you would go to sleep and you get in the bed and you got the long phone cord and you wrap your whole body in the cord, you probably were rapping until the sun came up. You're laying on your bed, you got your foot on the wall, you're just staring into space and you're having a conversation with this young man or this young woman that you may or may not adore. He said, all of my cool attitude you took. So he was saying, like, I'm dope, I'm cool, and you took my cool from me. Your body was next. You made love to me like you were afraid. Was you afraid of me? Was I the first? You made love to me. And then he has to ask if I was the first. You were a virgin and you did all of this to me? What was I your every fantasy? He's blown away. He's asking the questions. Then he goes back into the chorus. Um, I, I just this is so, I don't want to say perfect, but it is flawless. Um, I like to get to verse 2, just a little bit of verse 2. He said, "They know we need each other. They know you are my fix. I know that you know I ain't cheating, baby. They know this is serious. I ain't fucking just for kicks. No." Pause right there. It took me years to realize that he threw the word fucking in there, because at first I thought he said funkin', but he said fuck it, and no radio station ever caught it. Because he said, I ain't fucking just for kicks. The way he says it, I guess maybe they thought he said funkin', but he got the word fucking in there, and it's never, at least to my knowledge, in listening to it on the radio, and I haven't listened to the radio in damn near 25 years, but when I did listen to the radio, I've never heard that song beeped out in that particular place in the song. He says, I like to think that I'm a man of exquisite taste. 100% Italian silk, imported Egyptian lace. Nothing, babe. I said, nothing, babe, compare. Nothing can compare to your lovely face. Well, let me back up a little bit. He said, you could say that I'm a terminal case. You could burn up my clothes, smash up my ride. And then he comes to his senses. Well, maybe not the ride. That's my favorite part of this song. You could burn up my clothes, smash up my ride. Well, maybe not the ride. That's the point where Prince realized, I might be bugging a little bit here. Let me not go too far. But this is an incredible song. I would love to play it for you, but I mean, come on, let's be honest. If I played it for you, they would take it down. And I don't want no problems from the Purple Nation. I love Prince. I miss him. I just, when I got to Minneapolis in 2010, I was hell-bent on seeing him somewhere, meeting him somewhere. I didn't, and I wish that I did. But nonetheless, another one gone way too soon. And he's missed. But we bring him back to life every time we press play. I had to do this when I could not let this one slide. This is definitely the verse of the week. If you have not heard the song, please, ma'am, please, sir, go play this as soon as this podcast ends. And it's about to end. That's going to do it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out this edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Go to the website, the Rap Soul Podcast.riverside.com. Also check out the 12 Kyle Podcast. That website, the 12 Kyle Podcast.riverside.com. Subscribe there. Please, ma'am. Please, sir. Thank you. That's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the Rap Soul Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Yeah.
Thank you for listening. This concludes the episode. Be sure to subscribe to the Rap Soul Podcast. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the podcast on social media. And feel free to continue this discussion on our Reddit page. More importantly, share this podcast with a friend or family member who loves music as much as you do. Until next time, 5,000.